Forget gurus. Forget anyone claiming to be an online business expert without going through the challenges of entrepreneurship themselves. The Real Money, Real Business podcast is here to prove the best insights in online business comes from your fellow online business builders. We dig into stories of entrepreneurs selling their business on the Empire Flippers marketplace so that you can learn how they made their business profitable, how they overcame obstacles, and what lessons they learned in their online journey. If you want to take your business and your knowledge to the next level, you've come to the right podcast. Let's get started.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Real Money, Real Business podcast. We record these interviews so potential buyers have more information about the seller and the business to help them make a buying decision. Before we dive in, let's go over a brief summary of the business. It is a display advertising business created in January of 2012 in the health and fitness niches. The average monthly revenue for the business is $30,715 and makes an average of $29,011 per month in net profit. The assets included in the sale are 2 domains, including all content and files for the site, 2 MailChimp email lists with around 2,000 and around 1,300 subscribers respectively. The social media accounts, they include Flipboard, Pinterest, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And for everyone listening, you can visit empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for listing 55732 to learn more about the business, or you can unlock this listing to start your due diligence if you're interested in purchasing this asset. So that's a brief overview of the business for sale. Let's hear from the 2 sellers today. So welcome to the show, Johnny and Misato. How are you both doing today?
Hi, good. How are you, Nick? Very good today. Thank you.
Hey, Nick, I'm doing well. Nice to be here talking to you this morning.
Great. Well, I'm looking forward to learning about you and your business. So I guess to start off, the first question that I always go to is, can you tell us a little about your background in building and running online businesses?
So we started this website many years ago, 2012. It feels like forever. Johnny was in the health and fitness industry, not online, but physical service industry. And we were looking for ways to reach more people virtually. And so we thought that, maybe we'll start a website. Back then, we had different ideas for this site, but over the years, this website turned it into a content website that hosts a lot of fitness and then health and then that type of topics. And now we include a lot of experts from different fields like nutritionists, physical therapists, and then whatnot. And so now the site that we have now is pretty much like an evolved version of what we started many years ago, back in 2012.
Nice. So I guess Johnny started in-person version of this niche in the health and fitness space. And that's how you got the idea to move more of this online. Is that right?
Right. Because when I wanted to start a online business, so that was the first thing that came into my mind. Maybe I should just study in the field that I have the most knowledge in, health and fitness. And back then there was a demand for health information. It was growing, nutrition, diet, exercise. So I said, it would be cool. Maybe I create a blog and kind of post content on it and try to help people get healthier and get fit, live a healthier life. That was the whole idea of it.
Yeah. So I always wondered about this. Does that make it easier to write within a niche that not only have a lot of experience in, but maybe you consider even a hobby, and then you get into the business of it? Does that make it easier, or does that make it more difficult because then your hobby becomes your work?
Yes and no. I mean, yes, in the sense that you have the most knowledge of it. You feel comfortable saying certain things, obviously, because you probably really, in my case, I was really qualified. Knowing in part that, you tend to look things on one side and not overall perspective of the online audience. So yes and no. Yes, from the sense that I knew what I was talking about, and I knew same thing I would tell my clients to do. I just wanted to put it in more in a conventional way and online into writing. And knowing in the sense that online is obviously a little bit different than being in person, because the person doesn't see you, they're reading your content. So you have to learn to do it in a way that makes it that's very easy to do and digest the information that's being the reading. So both. So yes and no.
Got it. And so now, since 2012, you've been working on this. So why now are you deciding to sell the business?
This is far more personal, but then a more of a professional business decision. But over the summer, Johnny, my partner, he found out that we had health issues that we really needed to attend to, and then that will require more of attention and time. Right. By the way, we're husband and wife. So between us, we have one child who's actively participating in sports. And then so I don't think I could juggle between doctor's appointments and running the household and the side. So, we really wanted to kind of set our priorities straight. And for us, health came first before anything. So that brought us to the decision to sell both sides.
Yeah. And staying true to the niche, health comes first, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. That's oftentimes we'll hear sellers say that some life change is what inspired their decision to sell their business. So, yeah, definitely makes sense.
Well, the good thing is we always built this size thinking that, we'll be the one operating in, and we have made all the decisions, that we believe that will serve us well, that serve the site well for the long term. So that's something I think that hopefully the new buyer will see that as benefit and will see the value in it.
Yeah. So you and I talked a little bit about this before we started, that there was a lot that you learned over the years. And can you tell me something or a little bit about something that worked that you tried out or that you learned from just through your experience building the business?
For us, when we learn how to drive traffic using social medias or available means that we have at our disposals, that was really the turning point for our site. And also organic. Now we feel like we're starting to understand far more. We wish we learned that much earlier in this business, but it's something that if you put the time and effort into, it will be a steady payout in terms of traffic and then the use of social media and also SEO.
So what you're saying is you wish you had learned how to drive organic traffic earlier, or what specifically were you referring to when you said you wish you did this earlier?
We just wish that we place more emphasis on organic traffic much earlier on in the business. And so, we would have consistently and constantly put in the efforts to drive and then build the organic traffic. And that will give us more control over what pages will drive traffic and then what topics that we want to push and then things like that. Socially, we're able to drive a pretty hefty traffic, but I think having that layer of organic traffic is early on would have been more solidified, make your traffic more steady. So that's something we learned over the years.
And now we started working on this year, and then you could see, as you take a look at the site, you can see the organic is actually pretty stunning.
Well, I'm glad that you pointed this out because it's good for a buyer to know what they can do to improve on a site. So given the site is performing, despite there being not a lot of early emphasis, more organic now, that's still a positive thing. At least it's a learning opportunity or it's just a growth opportunity for a potential buyer. So that's still great to hear.
Yeah, it shows that it's, we've been growing organically. And then I think it's a good signal and it works, we're given the right efforts we're putting to. So that's definitely something that we learned and then that we can see that it works and we're starting to see the benefits and the results of that.
Yeah. So Misato, you mentioned you've been doing social media marketing successfully. Was there anything you tried with this business that didn't work?
Yes, email marketing is the one that comes right up high on my list. We have tried that in email marketing and then collecting emails and then sending newsletters through that in the past. We didn't really get to make it work. We didn't have the know-how back when we tried. And they have I can't remember the exact count of emails we had, but it's far more sizable than what we have now. Because we didn't know what to do with it years back, we kind of filtered through the email list and then deleted some emails. So we have very small shrink size email list right now. If we could do it over again, we would actively work on getting the repeated visitors from those newsletters. And then that would have been additional traffic that we could have counted on. Or for anybody who wants to do affiliates or things like that, I know there is a lot of value in those email newsletters and the email lists. So yes, that's one thing we never really got it to work ourselves.
Yeah, another potential growth opportunity, definitely. Great. So, given that it sounds like a lot of your focus is on the social side, can you describe the amount and the type of work you do on this business for maintenance, maybe on a weekly basis? Like, how much do you work on the business and what kind of work do you do?
Okay, Johnny can take it over.
The type of content we create for social and organic is actually somewhat similar. It's not different. Sometimes the title is a little bit different. Obviously, more clickbait that can drive, so when the user obviously split second into social, when they see the image and also the title, you want to make sure it's well optimized. So what we do for social is when we create content for the website, we focus on really good title and also nice looking images. That way the user, they can stop and see the image and then read the title and get click to it. So we probably spend around 20 hours a week finding article ideas in terms of seeing or training, what other websites are using. And from there, we kind of come up with the title and also the sort of like an outline, and we contract it out to our writers.
Got it. So a lot of the time spent is on coming up with content ideas and then...
Exactly,
yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like you work with your team.
Yeah, research is definitely the half of it.
If you get it right, one of your content can drive 100,000 plus people, which we do.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really important that you get that initial, which we can walk with to the buyer, the type of strategy that we use in terms of finding ideas and titles and images in terms of what's
the exact
working.
steps and that's exactly what we do.
Yeah, we're working for the site right now.
That's good to know. So would you say that the skills that you have now, are they skills that you're able to teach to maybe a buyer who doesn't have as much experience with this kind of growth channel?
Definitely.
Absolutely. I mean, we learned it from somebody else as well. And absolutely, it's not very hard to teach. I mean, it's pretty simple.
Yeah, it's actually a pretty simple process. It's much simpler and easier than it sounds.
Yeah. So I think the hardest thing and the person will have, the hardest thing they'll have, which is the website, which in the social media's account, having a place where you can drop traffic whenever you want is the most difficult part, which acquiring this website will allow you to do that because we have the social media profile, account. So once you have that and you have the content, you're just sharing the content at the right time and then bam, traffic will come.
Sure. I know we talked about a few opportunities for growing. You said organic, email list. What would you say is a major opportunity for growth for somebody who acquires the business?
Growing socially, it definitely, you will see continued success. And I have no doubt about that, especially, we can walk the buyer through all the steps we take to drive the traffic that we do. But also organically, if you consistently, like month to month, every month, if you put in certain efforts, right now it's showing a lot of upward trend. And then I can only see that grow to continue. And then the reason I say that is because we do have a lot of, this is going to go a little bit more detailed or technical, but we do have a lot of keywords on, like, say, sitting on page 2 or sitting on page 3. And those are just waiting for a little bit more push to hike up to page 1, and then it will start driving some traffic. So I think there are a lot of opportunities there, and you can truly make part of your traffic steady every month once you get them to a high enough ranking. So I see a huge growth in that.
I'm just going to just jump in quickly here. I also think, obviously, organically, I think for me is where is that right now. I think that is a huge opportunity because you already have the social. As you share content, as we do weekly basis, you're going to grow socially. People discover your content, bring to your website. They're going to actually, you're going to link to your website. So those things are naturally going to happen. Another way, if the new buyer decides to display ads as we do, that's going to help them earn more money, obviously, because they're going to drive more traffic. Another outlet we never really tried to incorporate is actually affiliate. So I think there's a huge opportunity for them to come in and increase another way income source, which is through affiliate.
Oh, yeah.
That's one way I think they can really...
Yeah, I think I should have actually mentioned affiliate marketing in previous question that you asked about, we couldn't make it work. And then that's one of them is affiliate.
Right.
We have maybe opened one account with affiliate sites, but we never really...
It didn't work out, or you just didn't pursue it?
No, we didn't pursue it. Yeah.
Okay.
We didn't pursue it. We just really wanted to kind of work on, focus on the display ads, and then
that was primarily our focus.
So they can try affiliates and at that, and it's a blank canvas right now for that.
Yeah. 2 very powerful opportunities for growth you just mentioned. So SEO being one of them, and then the second one being opening another revenue stream in the form of affiliates. So yeah, I think those are two very clear opportunities for growth. So that's great to hear.
Yeah.
Okay, so now that we just talked about opportunity for growth, what do you think are the biggest risks with this business that a buyer should be aware of?
I think, as with any online business, whether it's especially for content sites, it's an inevitable truth that we're at the mercy of, say, Google social media platforms. Google algorithm change can shake all the rankings, and that would bring some traffic change. If social media wants to change their policy or wants to, pursue something else, or will start seeking out different type of content, you will need to quickly adjust the strategies and then start providing the type of content that they seek. And so things like that they can come up.
It's one of the risks of the business. I think one way that we start collecting a little bit more emails, obviously, and one way we can combat that is actually building your email list so you can have direct communication with your visitors, capturing them so always another source of traffic so they can not only bring back return visitor, bring them back again to the site when you have new content goes live, but also you can keep them from, just protect yourself from social media and also Google something change. You can also communicate with them and let them know that your site is still live and you're working on it and, working with those.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a good point. Having the newsletters and then the email list, building that, it's something that, nobody can take it away from you. And you are in direct contact with your visitors and the readers. So it's another thing that with the site, with the traffic that it gets every day, it's new buyers can definitely start building a new email list and, having that on your side. And that's a good way to hedge against any platform changes that may come.
Yep. Makes sense. Whether it's Google or social media or Amazon, it does feel like you're always at the mercy somewhat to a third party. Yeah, an email list definitely is a solution for that. That is great to hear. So moving on to some final questions, just general questions. How much support are you willing to offer buyers?
We're open to email support or Skype, whichever they prefer, supports. And we're also happy to, like we mentioned earlier, we're happy to walk through the buyer exactly what we do day to day and what type of research we do to find new content ideas, keyword research that we do, and then all the steps that we take. We're happy to share that so that they feel like they can operate that site and see not only similar traffic, but they will be confident enough to go grow it.
Very nice. And would you commit to a non-compete?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, that's easy. And are you open to something like an earnout?
We prefer cash, but with the right details and the right conditions. So we'll be open to earnout and discussions.
Okay, sounds good. And putting yourself in the shoes of a buyer, why do you think this is a business worth buying?
The site has a lot of opportunities to grow, whether it's newsletters or email lists or organic to social. I think.
If I was to buy it, that's the site I want to buy because when you look at the trend organically, how the site is doing. Right now, obviously, we're driving most of our traffic from social, but organically is going probably in the next few months or so, maybe within 6 months or so. Organic probably will be 10 times more what it is now, so the buyer will benefit from that greatly. So it'll be pretty much doing nothing and getting paid every day.
Yeah. The other thing I wanted to mention is we have updated our site pretty recently, a few months back, and that is to get the page speed up and then Google's standards. So our site is really fast and it's up to the Google's latest standards when it comes to page speed and then all that. So you're also buying into a site that's well optimized for SEO and then
user experience.
Yeah. So there is no hiccups there that you wouldn't have to worry about, things like that.
Very nice. So a fresh site that's optimized for SEO and pretty much being in a position now to grow organically.
Yeah, the page speed is also important for social too, because once people click and it doesn't load, it bounces, right? So, but if it loads, they can stay on your site. And so no matter how you grow your site or where you get your exposure from, it's a good thing that the site is up to date on that.
Yep, got it. So that was all the questions I have for you. Is there anything you'd like to add that you think I might have missed during the interview?
I think we cover pretty good. The last point was the site's redevelopments, and we touched on that just now. So
I think we're pretty good. I think we cover. I mean, we have to answer any questions that the buyer may have and just to help them any way we can, help them succeed as well.
Okay, perfect. Well, I'm going to wrap this up here then. Johnny and Misato, thank you very much for sharing your story and joining us on today's episode. And I hope your business is purchased in the near future by the right buyer.
Thank you. Thanks for your time.
Thank you. All right, everyone. Thanks for listening. To learn more and see if this listing has already been sold, head over to empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for listing number 55732. And if you're watching this on YouTube, click the link in the description to go straight to the listing. And once you've unlocked this listing, you'll be given everything you need to know about this business. So until next time, enjoy your digital journey.